It's the Mixt Nutz comedy podcast, positive news only. This week we got Patrick.
Good evening.
We got Thenjiwe.
Hi.
And we got Quincy.
Hi.
We're starting off with...
So nice.
He is nice. And how many hours can he be nice for? 25 hours. Can he be nice for 25 hours? Why am I talking about that? What's in the news? That's 25 hours.
So what was this? The senator who did a speech for 25 hours in the White House?
Senator Corey, wasn't it?
Senator Corey, yeah. And what? Did you see it? I didn't see any.
I didn't see it. I read about it.
Corey means something completely different where I'm from. I mean, he kept it up for 24 hours. But you know what? He was speaking for 25 hours. It was scripted,
Right.
so he wasn't off his head, right?
That's
So
even worse though. Yeah, imagine being a script writer for 25 hours.
24 hours, right? And the thing is, like, but who was listening to him?
Yeah. Who was it? Was it a captive audience?
It was an audience in there, but no one stayed there. It was who was he talking to? Because it was focused on him.
Oh, so it was literally just him stood talking to himself for 25 hours.
Yeah. He talked for 24 hours. He's used to it. He's married, isn't he?
Yeah.
Someone,
His wife just walking in and out.
so someone else wrote the speech for him.
Yes.
It's just like me standing there and just reading the old telephone
that's
book.
not the
Same
That's to try and break the
asylum
record.
seekers that Trump is throwing out. He got him to write a speech before.
He's just reading out all their applications. They're right to stay. All right, that's fine. He wants to stay because of this. Oh my God.
But it's good news because like he's done something good because the previous record holder was 24 hours and that was for why segregation is a good thing in the 1950s.
Yeah.
Number one, he's lazy. Like, why do 24 when you can do 25?
I'm not being funny, but if you got to speak for 25 hours to prove your point, it's not worth proving your point.
Yeah.
It's dead out here. It's
Lost this
dead.
fight after
You've lost the
3
fight.
minutes.
If you ain't convinced someone in 2 minutes. You imagine us doing 25 hour set and we ain't made someone laugh.
Look, I'm ready this for that. Let me tell you about this.
I'm going to leave with a high. If it's the last thing I do.
But how does he even come? I can't stand on stage for an hour and a half without needing a wee. How is he standing there for 20? I mean, he must be drippy. He must be literally wetting himself.
Well, diapers?
Yeah.
I wonder if you told the person, like me at 24.
Yeah. What? Give me about that person.
You're like at 24, please.
For civilians watching this, that means that comedians always get a red light. Is it a red light? Every time you go over 10 minutes in the club.
Oh, no, 2 minutes before.
2 minutes before. So if you're doing a 20-minute set, they give you a red light 2 minutes before, so 18 minutes in. Then at 20, and then if you're still on stage at 25, they do a red light. If you're still on stage at half an hour, it doesn't matter. You're still there. You're not leaving. Then there's a trap door.
Cut the mic.
Call the senator.
Yeah.
You guys never get caught out by the lights now because you're such pros, or does that ever happen to you?
I've been to the red light.
Quincy's doing his
Family show.
He's doing his
What?
family show at the red
Take pictures!
But
My family's got to take pictures in the red light. What kind of world are we living in?
I film a lot of comedy and do a lot of stuff for the comedy school where like people graduate their first gig. So many people get the red light because it's just like they just keep going.
But I don't. Yeah, because the thing is, you've got to remember, all of us we're doing routines. We're not writing a routine. If someone goes, "Can you do a 20-minute set?" We don't go, "Okay, I'll get 21-minute routines." Nobody works like that. It's the real world, So like when you're doing a routine, and then you might have a bit of interaction, something goes off, and then you want to finish with that routine. That routine might be 3 minutes, and you've only got 2 minutes left. Give them an extra minute.
Says the king of the red light.
Yeah, exactly. They call me Billy Ocean. Red light for danger.
This guy's got more red lights than a dual camera.
Yeah, no, exactly.
What's the longest set you guys have done? Like, is it 1 hour for Edinburgh? What have you guys?
1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it always sometimes goes over.
Yeah, you do. But for 2
I've
shows.
spoken for, but it's been a break though. I've spoken for an hour and 45.
Yeah. Well, for 2 shows, you'd have to.
But
That's
not
long.
straight. Not straight.
What's the longest you do? Like 40 minutes, first half, 45 break, 20 minutes,
Yeah,
and then another hour or something like that?
I've done an hour straight.
That's
Sometimes when
long.
you're really enjoying yourself and people are in it, you forget.
Yeah.
Do you take as long with your woman?
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Come on now.
I just want to know.
I'm insulted, yeah. It's women. Woman, like I'm lazy.
I know it's. and I have to flash him after an hour. Come on, Quincy, you've got a gig in an hour. Get off.
I just thought of something stupid and crazy. I don't know if I should go to...
Say it.
I'm like, that's why God invented the red light for women, because women sometimes don't want to get off.
Oh, yeah.
Who have you met then?
Exactly.
Well, I am African.
I say no more, sis. I say no more. You gotta get that passport.
Changing the subject
Changing
to
the subject.
very quickly.
Interesting.
We're going on to the happy subject of AI has predicted World War III and what happened to it. Have you guys checked that out?
No. It's because I'm not interested.
Exactly. Look, AI, you can do so much with AI. Why would you want to predict the end of the world?
And somebody must have asked it to predict it.
Yeah.
Does it just do
Probably.
things on its own, or
If
someone
AI
has to ask? Someone has to ask.
If AI can't predict the price hike of bills, why am I listening to it for World War III? Yeah, no.
What's a good side of having World War III? Do you think?
Well, you're not. If you have World War III, you're not going to lose everyone goes, oh my God, World War III, the whole world's going to blow up. No, it's like you're going to blow up London, New York, Munich, where else? Moscow, maybe like whatever, like Shanghai. Macclesfield and Rotherham, Blackburn are suddenly going to become the most affluent areas. Because these are the only areas that have got houses left. Everyone's going to move to Blackburn.
Yeah, I better start buying some pound houses in Goodison.
Take photos of Birmingham and give it to AI. AI is going to think, I told you there would be World War III.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks
When the rats are already there in Birmingham,
have you seen it? Well, I was saying this to the guys. I went there last week to do a gig, and it's all right on the outskirts. Once you get in town, there's piles of bins. There's loads of big rats the size of cats.
What's the story? Tell our lovely viewers why that's happening.
So there's a pay strike. So the bin men, Birmingham Council's gone bankrupt, so they haven't got any money. And what I do when I drive into Birmingham, I always do 60 and a 30 because I'll get a speeding ticket and I'm giving a bit of money back to the council. And then what I do is, this is genuinely true, mental. They can't pay the bin men. And I'm like, well, look, councillors have all taken 7% increase. You know, councillors are getting a pay rise. You think bin men or whatever, these are your, bin men, nurses, whatever, people like that need a proper pay rise. And they said we're going to have to send the army in to sort out the bins. Why would you say?
And they've got some residents have taken it upon themselves to take responsibility. Yeah. And do you know what it actually shows that the moral code of humans? Because why would you want to live in that?
Yeah.
But you remember when it happened in Edinburgh?
Oh,
was it 2 years ago?
During the festival.
During the festival.
Yeah. It was awful. Do you remember? And it was funny because it was when someone gave you a flyer, you didn't know who they were, and you'd have to pretend to take it, and then you walk up, and then you want to put it in a bin. You have to walk around with this flyer for an improv play of Dracula. Because normally you just walk back, I'll just put it in the bin.
I think what they should do is every CEO, like for the next 6 months, must earn and live on whatever the lowest paid employee in their company is getting paid.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Quite good, yeah. You ever been dictatorship?
Yeah. I got Putin's ringing up. What was that idea?
No, I would say with people, like, if you have a grievance, like bin, stuff that keeps your local community, take that same bins and rubbish and put it in the places what you put in the council.
Exactly.
Their own house, not the council, not the building, their houses. You know where they live.
Yeah,
I'll put it in the council. I'll put it in the houses.
Don't pronounce that.
That's how.
Do you remember?
But the thing is, if you put it there, then they work from home. It doesn't affect them.
No, yeah, but
they don't have to come to the office.
Well, yeah, but then good. Then that means your rubbish can stay there. Just keep it piling up outside the office. Yeah. Do you know that happened a few years ago? Do you remember when someone got fined? They got fined by the council for not paying something, and they disputed it. They said they've got planning permission for something or whatever, and they turned up. The council said, no, you've got to pay this £3,000 fine. They turned up with a van full of £1 coins. Do you see this?
Yes.
And the poo as well.
The poo, when you
sprayed it. The farmer sprayed that poo, didn't he? He said, he sprayed the whole council. But he dumped all the coins for the fine. That's such a good idea. Don't the rubbish there.
But it's all pound coins.
Pennies.
No,
pennies?
Pennies.
Oh, is it pennies?
Yeah.
Did they take it?
It's money.
You have to.
It's a legal tender.
Yeah. It's legal if you pay for it, yeah.
Do you know what? If you rob them at that time,
Oh, yeah.
that's cost of living crisis, isn't it? You got to be fit to take those bags in the first place. That's like a workout.
Another workout is trying to save a shark. Quincy, you sent this in, didn't you? Where did you find this video?
Yeah, so do you know like when you're round and you can't sleep at 2, 3 in the morning? Most people can't sleep. I just go on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it came up, and do you know the article says a man gets killed by saving shark. I was like, what are you talking about? So when I saw it, first of all, he was dragging it backwards. So that's how you protect yourself. That's what they say. That's what they say to do when you're in the sea. If you pull a shark backwards, it doesn't attack you. So I don't know who was that directed at, you know, right? But I should have said that to the slaves. Yeah. But anyway, that's another story. When I push you in, just drag them backwards. Right? You know what I mean? The middle passage, how silly were they? Right? So, I saw it, and basically, there's a bit in it. Now, I knew it got to the point, now, this ain't real, because he obviously, I know sharks and whales, they beach themselves. So he got it back into the water, but then he done it extra further and went like above waist. And then next thing you know, the shark was eating him and all that kind of stuff. But I was looking for the blood, but there was no blood. But it got me thinking though, there are people who are prepared to risk their lives for animals who eat them.
Yeah. And I know you're an animal expert.
If I can tell you something though, I haven't seen the video, but I know the man was white.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How'd you guess?
Yeah.
He was. And do you know what? And he wasn't even a skinny white. He was proper potty. He was like, the shark was sitting there going, all right, pull me back. Look at the size of your stomach. I'm having it.
Yeah. That is crazy. Listen, look, I love animals. I don't mind animals. But if I saw a shark there, I'd be like, listen, that's going to be sushi. Or that's going to be a soup. I'm just going to bring up my friends who are Japanese.
Yeah.
I've got a fin tail here. It's like 6 grand. I'm not putting that back in.
That's how we pray for our food in Africa. Thank you, God, for giving us an animal we can eat instead of an animal that will eat us.
I've seen footages of guys where wolves and mountain lions have been near the traps, and their paws have been in the trap. So, I mean, that's not nice. I mean, so they've freed them, but they've freed them, but they've had a gun. I'm going to free you, but if you go for me, you're right.
There's a little warning shot.
Trust me. So just.
And they open it, and the wolf just hobbles off.
So what they do, they get a stick. You know what I mean? Because obviously the wolf probably or the mountain lion is scared in it, so you won't let no one in. And it is horrible. So you got. So me personally, I would have tranquilized it, so it makes it asleep.
Yeah, and then it's then do it.
Then do it. But why would you do it while it's still there panicking? But that's some people risk their lives. I ain't doing it. That's good. If I see a wounded animal and it can eat me, that's God's will right there.
Would you do cage shark diving? They do it a lot, especially.
I've seen a shark get
They come
in
to
there.
Cape Town a lot for that.
Yeah.
Our sharks are vegetarian, so it's safe.
Your sharks are vegetarian.
Have you seen a great white shark in a cage or anywhere?
Have you ever done it?
No.
I would not. I'd be terrified.
Whereabouts in South Africa? Are they normally around Cape Town?
Around Cape Town, yes, they do.
The
it
great
around
whites.
Cape Town. Yeah.
But wouldn't the shark be? I'd never get that. I don't understand it because what's it like a wire that's going down, isn't it? How is the shark there? So stupid. The shark could easily just cut that through.
But that's the thrill of it. How dangerous it is.
I'd be.
They've watched Jaws too, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna do that.
Oh my god! Have you ever seen the film? There was a film called 57 Under Whatever. And it was it was based on a real life event that happened, and it was 2 sisters went down in a shark cage. You know, like to go shark diving, and the cage broke. And the thing snapped, it broke down, and the person who was doing it for them, they paid him really cheap. It was a true story. He went off back in land to do his such and such, didn't realise because it wasn't all proper. And then by the time he come back, he realised it was too late. He was trying to ring through, and then it took him hours and hours. The cage went down, all the sharks. So I couldn't leave. Yeah. and one of the sisters died, and the other one had to, because they didn't have any oxygen, and they had to both swim up.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Have you seen the film where the divers were stuck? They fell overboard, and the film's literally of the two divers in the middle of the ocean, and the boat where they fell overboard. It was one of the workers realised. He goes, "Hang on a minute, we had 20 white people on this boat."
Yeah. I never.
Really have two.
Looking back, what's that in the sea?
Come back!
Yeah, and then what happened? Obviously, they were running out of oxygen, and this is a spoiler alert as well. So, this is when I realised that the men and women. You know, I said death to us part. Who do you think died first?
Oh yeah, the bloke.
The bloke.
Man.
The bloke died.
What?
The woman.
Huh?
No.
No. He sacrificed himself. He basically took something off. So obviously he drew blood. So obviously the sharks
So Shark will follow
go
him.
for them. And by that time, because it was coming to the end of the movie, the boat came back
Oh God.
and saved the woman. You know what I mean? And then another thing about relationships
This is
as well.
like Titanic.
In their time of, because obviously they was in that sea for about 24, 48 hours. It's at night time they were in there, having to tread water. And in the film they had an argument.
No, they didn't.
They had a disagreement during it. And I'm like,
But that's
at
a
some
proper
point, they're like,
relationship.
these ain't. Sometimes you go, sweetheart, let it go.
Exactly. The sharks.
This ain't the
are
time.
yeah, I know
This ain't the
exactly.
time
That is.
to be telling me taking out the bins.
You know, in situations like that, if I was a man, that's why I would apply ladies first.
Oh yeah, equality. Isn't it?
Equality.
There
Yeah.
you go, like that.
Well, speaking of cages, we've got Marine Le Pen is going into jail. France's version of Farage is guilty. What do you think of that?
She's alright, you know.
Really? See,
I'm going to cure racism.
it was worse. How can you listen? She got done for stealing money.
Yeah.
She's extreme right wing. If you've got all them, and then now she's complaining that that people are against her, no one likes her. How can you? If you're not nice to anyone, no one's going to come back and help you. Can you imagine if it was like? You could imagine if it was Jeremy Corbyn or something like a left wing who's done some good for people. They'd be go, oh, you know what? Actually, he's one of the people. You can let him go.
But she's gone on the back of her dad, isn't she? It isn't even her own kind of work. It's on the back of her.
Like
her
father,
own
like
man.
daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think she's going to do the time, or they just doing it for the
No,
news?
she won't do.
If I was the French justice system, I'll let her do time, but I'll let her do it in like Congo. Do it in a French speaking African country.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You wanna
Send it
prove-
to DRC.
Yeah, DRC. You want to prove you're racist?
Yeah.
Share with Mbuku. That's your
Well, a lot of people,
It was that way.
Elon in particular, has tweeted that it's all a conspiracy and this is all, terrible against people who are good, and this is what the left are up to. They're jailing people. What do you think of it? It's a conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy.
It's a surprise.
But are we
she
still
won't-
listening to Elon?
Yeah. I'm surprised he's right wing. I didn't think Elon would be interested.
Yeah, I didn't realise he knew
The
who he
only
was.
African American in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got as much time for Elon as I've got as much time for ballet. That guy there is just. Yeah, he puts autism in the bad name.
He's ruined Twitter.
He's ruined it.
Any other conspiracies that you guys have been listening to? I don't know, political stuff. Who shot JFK? All of that stuff. Anything you've been listening to?
I'm still waiting. I have a good idea. Yeah, that who shot JFK, because they're not going to release it. They're just teasing people with it.
Who did it?
But I'm not going to say who they are.
Who do you
But,
think it is?
huh?
What, JFK?
But I ain't saying who they are, but just
We want to know. You can't just leave us hanging.
because I want Dish to keep his
They're listening right now.
Yeah,
They're
everywhere.
I think social media as well has allowed everyone to just be a journalist.
Yeah.
So-
Have you ever met, I don't know, people who believe the world is flat? Have you ever met anyone like that? Or have you met people who
It's Stonehenge.
Yeah.
who think,
Yeah, GB News. Anyone who goes on GB
GB
News,
News, yeah.
pretty much, isn't it?
The world is flat, man. Flat white.
Yeah.
GB News, as far as they're concerned. Yeah, conspiracy theories. I mean, there's a lot of them. You know what I mean, but I do believe that there's always a bit of truth, but it depends who it's coming from.
actually, here's one. Quincy doesn't drink tap water, because is that a conspiracy?
No,
That's
it's just
Thames water.
Thames water, yeah. And if you've seen the news last couple of years, but I've seen what comes out of it.
Everything that we're putting in is coming straight back.
I've seen how they've been distributed in Southampton.
But then bottled water is not safe as well.
Yeah, but what is safe? You know,
Nothing is
the
safe.
tap water, the tap water thing.
It's in a plastic bottle.
yeah.
You don't know how long it's.
And they put sodium in it or something, do they?
Yeah.
And someone, my missus said to me that they put, I won't say the brand, but there's a brand where they do it to make you drink more water.
And the thing is, when they came to Africa, they told us, stop drinking that water, because we were drinking spring water. They said, tap water, that's the way. We started paying for tap water, and now they want us to buy the spring water that we were originally drinking. It doesn't make sense.
It's kind of it's weird because obviously where you're from, you know what I mean, you're gonna get the natural.
Now
spring
the
water.
natural spring water is owned by Coca-Cola. We're like,
Yeah.
this was what we used to drink.
Why can't you
Like,
have that?
Oh, it needs a bit of filtering.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, can you
Take it out of
imagine?
the river.
Oh, the amount of mining and stuff that's gone on there. I wouldn't. Could you imagine what they put into the springs now? Oof.
but you still get places where there are no mines, where
Where
it
it's
comes from
natural.
the mountain, where it's really natural. You
Yeah,
don't need to
yeah.
filter it.
I mean, it's only when you travel to places and you have like I remember having salmon. I was in a remote part of Scotland.
Oh
And
yeah,
I caught
God, yeah.
some
And
salmon.
Loch Lomond and all that.
And I taste like it was given to me and I had it. I like salmon. Like this ain't from Tesco's.
Yeah.
It was so fresh. It was just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
fresh. You know what I mean? And having like the lettuce and the ground food in the Caribbean, it's just like.
Yeah.
It's
like,
different.
do you know, I can't even eat avocado over here properly.
Yeah.
Really?
It doesn't even smell. When you walk into like the fruit and veg in aisle in the shop, it doesn't smell like fruit and veg.
It doesn't.
Like you should be able to smell. There's a pineapple here. There's a banana here. It does not smell like.
It smells like an ornament.
See, that's really that's really good. See, I never even thought of it. Like
No
that.
fruit is supposed to shine like that.
But with you and the water, do you make sure that everyone you kiss also drinks good water, or you don't drink it, but you kiss people who drink tap water?
She's saying that, what she said is if you go and take some out the toilet and then kiss that person.
My mum, you know, it's a family show.
I know.
Speaking of eating healthily, here's a video brought to us by Quincy again, watching weird
Quincy.
videos at late night.
He doesn't go to bed.
So what's the secret then to eating healthily? You have to smell, what is it, Quincy?
Oh yeah, so this is how I basically, to keep my foods down, I get a massive kebab, yeah, and then I smell it, so it's in my brain, and then I eat lettuce. That just helps me. So I should be eating this.
Yeah.
That's science. That's science, is it?
That's the
helps
science.
him.
That helps me.
That helps him with his sex addiction. He's like that. When he has loads of women, sniffs them.
That's like,
and he just carries on. Just like a sandwich.
that's like a nun saying, to stay a virgin,
Yeah.
what I do is I get a man, a very sexy man, I touch him, and then I pray.
Yeah, that's good.
Whatever works for you,
Yeah.
or for them.
Like,
Where are you
where's
gonna
the
find a man who's a
discipline?
virgin?
Huh?
Where's the
I ain't got
discipline of
none.
not even touching the
I'm
meat?
telling you, I ain't got none.
We used to go to places like KFC, or can we say brands here?
Yeah.
Nando's, because we couldn't afford it. So we'd stay outside with like bread or what we call pap.
Yeah.
And you just sit outside and eat it with the smell. But that's because we couldn't afford the meat. But why are you buying the meat?
Yeah.
Why are you buying the meat?
So
Yeah,
that's a whole new level of poor. So
Hey.
you stand outside the
That's a
shop
creative level of
and you wait for the door open, take in the smell,
Yeah.
and eat with the bread. So you're having a chicken sandwich.
Yes.
I can tell you the same thing. When we were growing up, you know what we used to do? Our mum, we would go in because she'd go, what well, you want to eat food when you're out? We want to, like, because everyone would go, like, McDonald's, and we couldn't afford. We go, want to go to McDonald's? She go, why you go to McDonald's? We have food in the house. So she'd bring us, one time she took us into McDonald's. We thought, we're going to get McDonald's. Sat us around the table. Do you know what she did? She took food out of a bag and put it on a table. And we had to eat inside a McDonald's, pretending we were in McDonald's.
That happened to me with
That's
someone
crazy.
on a date.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
But you're gonna.
He only
Where was
bought
this?
drinks, he brought food. We went to a restaurant. That's why I don't do online dating anymore. I've been
Where was
traumatized.
this?
Was this in
Here?
this
Yeah, in
country?
England, yes.
Stop it.
No.
Here in this first world country.
In London, in England? What? Which restaurant did he take you?
I can't say.
Yeah.
Because
I bet you it was the Ivy.
Yeah.
no, it wasn't even. It was a very
What
cheap
was,
one.
What was the food?
A cheap
like?
one.
Yeah, it was Weatherspoons.
Yeah, I was
we
gonna
couldn't
say, I
afford
bet it's
to
a
buy
Weatherspoons.
food.
Could have
Yeah.
been a
You're
restaurant.
out for a
Yeah.
second date.
But
It'd
yeah,
be cheaper to
Did
buy.
you-
it'd
did
be
you go on
cheaper
a
to buy
second
food
date?
in Weatherspoons than to order.
because you didn't see the food he brought.
Did you
it was
go
a
out on
jam
a second
sandwich.
date? You didn't go. Did you
The
block
guy's
him?
dead. She's
What?
murdered him.
The second date was his funeral.
Yeah, I know. It was her praying. Hang on. What food? Jam sandwich?
He brought a jam sandwich and he brought drinks and he didn't even buy himself a drink because at Weatherspoons they do the free water.
Yeah.
So he got the free water, took out like a container from his bag
Did you
for
say-
us to share the sandwich, and then
How was being romantic? This wasn't a sunny day. in the picnic.
and then he told me to order coffee because it's a free
Oh,
refill.
Free refill, yeah.
Is it? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, it's-
I just said I was going to the
I know.
bathroom and left. But the thing is, I kept asking myself, maybe he was just testing me that I'm there for his money. Because my dream coming here, all I ever wanted was to date a rich white man from a very rich family who is racist, so they can come to me and say, here is 50,000, leave our
Yeah.
son alone.
That's brilliant.
That's quite smart. I've been doing that with white girls at the work.
Yeah. I've been driving to a gig and then seeing you lot coming up like Highgate out of big houses. What is that?
Speaking of bad things to eat, behind the scenes, Peter has found a story. What was it? Jessica Simpson.
Yes, she's a singer, and she said to keep her vocals fresh, she drinks snake's sperm.
How did she find out it works?
I never knew that. They haven't even had sperm. I
I know exactly.
thought it was just venom.
There was, yeah. Oh, that's what they call it.
Who knew they have sperm? I do. Even a snake go twice.
Do you know what?
No wonder they shed their skin.
Yeah, I know.
If you did meet a snake and it asked you for an option, do you want venom or do you want sperm? What did you choose? What are you going for?
I don't know, it's mental, but I hate the countryside. You know when people always go to, oh yeah, the cities, you can't, cities are, I love the city, it's much safer. When you go to the countryside, and anywhere, Australia or anywhere, Africa, wherever you walk around, and you hear, like, you know, the rustling in the bushes, and that scares me. Now I know that rustling's just snakes. It's a load of snakes just go. Are you a singer? Are you a singer? No.
You crack me one off.
Yeah, I'm just cracking it
Oh,
up.
no wonder when the rattlesnake. That's not rattling.
Yeah, I know. The rattlesnake's going, where's Jessica Simpson? Where's Jessica Simpson? Is that what?
And also, how does she know that the snake is about to and
Oh.
does she put like a condom on a snake and just keeps going
Jessica
to
Simpson's
check?
a vampire. She likes the venom. She likes venom.
All right, enough of this sinful behaviour and sinful talk. Let's go back to another video. This is another one. Quincy's got. This is about a pastor in America who locks in his people unless they pay. What's the story?
So the story basically is a singer. He's a great singer, preacher by Marvin Sapp. Yeah, and basically he was taking a sermon in this church, and it was packed, and there was also a lot of people online. And he asked the ushers during the sermon, this is when you know you're at a black church, yeah? When everybody's jumping up, because it's a Pentecostal church, and then the piano or the organ starts to lower down. That's telling you, we're calming you down,
Right, yeah.
because we're getting you ready for you to depart with your money.
Oh,
yeah?
no.
Yeah?
So do they get you to sing first and then...
Get you to all up in a frenzy, yeah? And then they say, like, take it down.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. That's the way of catching their breath before they tell you can take the money. But this this particular time, Mr. Marvin Sapp said that there's X amount of people in this church, there's X amount of people who are online, and I want $20 from everybody. And then he tells the ushers to not shut the doors and lock the doors.
Oh, behave yourself.
He says them to lock, and he's serious. Yeah,
That is
from being a preacher with a preacher voice and a preacher delivery, he turns into Lucifer. I said, lock the doors.
Yeah, lock the door.
Lock the doors. So he's got like a backlash, so to speak, not just from the man upstairs.
Yeah,
but he's on whoever social media, and he had to go back on the radio to say his delivery. He didn't mean it how he's supposed to mean it.
He was let me tell you, he's looking. I'm not an aggressive guy. I'm not a violent guy. But if he tried to lock me in a room for $20, he'd be seeing Jesus quicker than you know.
There you go.
He would literally be seeing God.
The thing is, you guys have seen that before.
Yeah.
Stop pretending that you've seen the Edinburgh free shows.
What?
Free to come in, you pay to go out.
Oh yeah, we see it in shows. Yeah, but what I do is I always. If you go to see a show, someone's going to recommend the show and it's free. They say it's free to get in, you have to pay to get out. I always stand at the back, and if it is any good, then of course you're going to give. But if the guy on stage did the show and you just think, what was this show? And then they went, right, I'm locking the door, you're not paying to get in. I'm like, are you joking?
There was one time
That's a good business. Let's take ushers to Edinburgh.
Yeah, I did an Edinburgh free show one time, and I did stand by the door, and I covered it. And I was bigger than him. And they weren't leaving, and I was looking at them, like, I don't want to hear no coins. I want to hear the money float to the bottom.
Yeah, but you know, card. Did you have a card?
No, it was back in the day. It was back in the day.
There's a folded before
they gave money, the notes, but it was out of fear.
Good.
And I got spoken to by the management. He goes, Chris, you been threatening? I just got.
I did my show.
I did my show. I got paid wrong. I'm just going to buy a car now.
Yeah. I did my show. There's nothing wrong with £50 a ticket from London.
There you go. Yeah, just pay for my down payment for next year.
Yeah. Was that Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And Edinburgh is expensive, so good for you.
I was behind my rent.
Yeah.
Religion's always an interesting one to talk to. I know I've talked about Muslim stuff. What about you guys? Are you very religious, not religious? What are you guys?
I'd say I'm more spiritual now than religious. I think religious is man-made. I think that each of us have our own spirituality and spiritual connection of a higher being. So I would say that when, and Thenjiwe can tell you this, when something happens with a woman or they feel something, they come up with the classic, my spirit don't take to this.
Yeah.
That's why I listen to women. I listen to women. If you walk into a room with a woman, she said, you know what, you shouldn't be in my spirit, don't take to it. I'm like, it's time to leave, isn't it, really? There's no way.
So like my missus, she's exactly like that. I'm a Pisces rising, my spirit is here. It's like, what are you talking about?
Thenjiwe, what's your...
I'm confused, and confused.com, because...
In this day and age, that means you could be either sex.
Either sex, yeah.
It means you transition.
Because I grew up as a Christian, but that was by force because of the laws in my country. Right. Where you couldn't go to school without a Christian name, you couldn't, even Nelson Mandela, Nelson is not even his name, because he's, so all that. So then I grew up, we got our freedom, I was like born again African.
That's his real name.
Convict 379.
379.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at that.
And his real name, Idris Elba.
Yeah. Are you religious though? Do you practice?
And now I've gone back because I feel like I need some faith, but I don't go to church because church is a business transaction place.
We've seen it. Quincy's told us how much they're making.
And it's been like that for years.
And
it's just that now the pastors like that are making people realize.
And do you know what's really I find funny as well? So obviously, like, we're in the UK and it's adopted as a Christian country. We've just had Ramadan and stuff like that, and the backlash that online they're saying because obviously after Ramadan finished, it was Eid, didn't it? And a lot of the Muslims were celebrating in parks, and it was a lot.
Well, the reason for that is also because generally all the mosques around
are packed.
Yeah, packed.
Yeah. Common sense.
It's the family share. You want to do it with your kids and the
Yeah. So it's do you know what? I woke up Sunday, They actually, the Muslim organisation, they had West Ham, they had the London Stadium, packed it out, and they were chanting. I was like, that's remixed it. I'm forever blowing bubbles.
Yeah.
I've heard that version before.
That's the busiest that stadium's ever been.
But there was a couple of there's a couple of guys online that were saying this is supposed to be a Christian country. They're taking, and I don't normally reply back, and I'm like, quote me a verse from the Bible. Still waiting.
Exactly.
Still waiting.
We grew up in a multi-faith house. So like literally we had Catholics this side, we had Muslims this side, Sunni, Shia that side, Kildanis. And that's like basically all different religions growing up. And it's hilarious because even though we had all these different religions, that means you don't really have to believe in any. So it was probably, we would have like we'd have 192 days off a year from school. I'm doing Easter, I'm doing Lent, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's true, but growing up, that was the principles behind it. But the people who were religious weren't any better than the people who were.
Yeah. Because similarly in my house, like so we had.
But it does bring some form of discipline.
Yes.
It does bring
any
some
religion.
discipline.
Yeah,
I have a prayer group that I am part of, but we do it from home. We don't have.
Is that working from home?
Yeah.
God comes in on
pandemic inspired. And I find that it does give discipline. And in schools, we used to have, because South Africa was forced to be a Christian country, we used to have assembly at school, and schools were disciplined. But now there's none of that because they can't force everyone to be the same religion, which is good. Freedom is good for everyone. But now things have gone crazy. Things have gone crazy. And I like the traditional spiritual stuff. But the problem is the people who are advocates for it are always doing the dark side of it. It's always about
the old school ways, the old ways of doing it.
Yeah, but then the traditional, like the so-called traditional spiritualists or healers, they're always just doing it in a negative way. They like the church. That's
their own agenda.
But it's always about judgment. Get a snake that's gonna give you money.
Back to that snake and Jessica Simpson again.
What
church are you going to?
All this was from the church.
No. The African spiritual part of it.
Oh no, right, yeah.
Oh.
So I wish it could be.
Maybe this is the Pastor Toby.
Yeah.
Well, it's done in churches as well. And then you get...
enlargements.
Have you been to Nigeria?
Penis enlargements?
Of course. There's a penis enlargement Church of God.
I haven't been to church for a couple of years, but
African church?
Yeah. They do everything as long as you pay.
Africans would...
and they disabled Africans because... African is a enlargement. They're in the Paralympics.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing is, because
open the back door and close it.
because it's become such a business. Everyone opens a church. It's easy, especially in Africa. You make quick money because where people are most needy, they need faith. They need something that they can believe in. They know their life is not so good in this life, so they want to give themselves hope for the afterlife or to believe there's going to be a miracle.
I agree with you. Listen, it's all about discipline. It's about giving people, but they need that back then. We've all moved on. Like, look, my dad, all that generation, they were God-fearing people. They were hooligan. They'd be mental. They were nice people, but they learned how you don't steal, you don't kill, you don't do this, and they need that discipline. But we're different now,
But then the same people who say that also say, if I do it, God will forgive me. So they still did it.
So it's not good.
It's not like it stopped.
That comes to individual discipline. So what you're doing in your prayer groups in your house, you're around people who think like you and have the same energy as you.
Yes.
So you stick around those kind of individuals.
And do you know, fact, in Nigeria they ran out of church names. That's how many churches they have.
So what like all the apostles and everything?
Because you have to register a church.
Yeah.
And you
can't use the same.
So now they have, and Google this because you're going to think I'm making it up. Run for your life, Church of God.
Run for your life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they have all sorts of crazy church names because of how many churches are there. If comedy doesn't work, let's go and open a church.
Yeah. The big GC is here tonight. You could just put anything, any name like that.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
QuincyIsGod.com, £20.
Did you hear? Sorry, a few years ago we had a story in South Africa of the pastor who rose someone from the dead.
Yes, I see.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that on the internet. Yeah, Quincy sent it to me at 3 o'clock in the morning. When so it was just a charlatan, you'd call it, where he was pretending the guy was dead.
He was basically a Nigerian Virgin Alpha Daily.
Yeah. You can see the guy's just in there coughing out.
Oh, I sang you.
The first man to eat his own funeral food.
That's hilarious.
Did you see the guy in Ireland who, for his, did you not see that where he was, he died, passed away, but for his last wish, he had to record it. You saw it?
I love him.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah, so he had to record it inside of his funeral, inside the box.
I had a friend play the recording from inside the box.
And he was
Get
going,
me out.
Get me out. And he was going, I'm not dead. I don't know. Tell that priest there that I'm not dead. Get me out. I'm still in here. It was brilliant. Everyone's like,
the best one for that for me, Spike Milligan.
Yeah.
It says on his grave. And his grave, on his tombstone, it says, I told you I was sick. That's the best one.
That's brilliant.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I told you I was sick.
You didn't believe me.
And finally, going back to religion, thou shalt not steal. What's happening in Greg's recently? Have you seen these videos?
Do you know what? I'm going to say this here. Could someone tell me, and I've got a little segment about this, it's called Explain This to Me. What's the point of security guards? And like
Job creation?
there was a Greg's I saw in the space of an hour. It was in Wood Green. And they literally, there was just, I lost count amount of people. They weren't
just walk in and grab some,
As you're talking about go back to traditional, I want to see a thief actually look left and right, and up and down, and try to sneak out. You don't go into a shop, look at the foods to how much calories it's got, then walk out.
Oh no, yeah, I've seen it. Where they literally I've been there queuing up, and there was 3 staff. And listen, at the end of the day, I know it's not the staff fault, but there's 3 of them stood behind there, and the guy just came in and he went like that. And I noticed, and I was thinking, God, he's hungry. And he literally took about 8 different things, 3 bottles of this, 8 things there, and then he literally just put it in and just walked out. And we were all queuing. I thought, what's the point of queuing? Yeah. Why are we doing this?
I've seen in Tesco's where there was one guy, he went around Tesco's and he was literally nicked like a Sunday roast. Yeah. And then after he took the meats and all that, obviously cold meats, and took some potatoes as he was going to warm it up, he went to the wine section and he stole.
You got a drink after you eat?
Yeah, and then they caught him. He goes, well, you can't drink like meat without a red wine. I was like, what the hell? And it goes back to that. It goes back to the religious thing, the moral, like standards, morals. Like no one's just saying that if you do feed for things which you need to survive. You know what I mean? You need, like if your family's hungry, or if you haven't eaten for days and you're destitute. But when you're going in nicking a steak bake, like I'm a believer in this. If you're going to feed big. Yeah. Don't go to prison for a meal deal.
Well,
you know what I mean? When you're, you know what I mean? There's no point.
Unless you've got.
We should tell that to the people in Australia. Some of them went there for.
Oh yes, still love bread.
That's another conspiracy though. Why there was over there.
Really? Yeah. Go on. I never heard this. Go on. What's the conspiracy?
Right, man. The conspiracy is obviously the people they sent were like people they couldn't handle. So they'd be like the Tommy Robinsons. They had like a large kind of influence over the people.
Oh, so they're trying to get rid of it. It's a bit like Putin where he gets rid of
it. So getting rid of them.
And it also had to be people, because I've been there, I went to the Fremantle prison where they used to put them. It had to be people who were physically fit as well, because they knew they were planning to build Australia and they wanted free labour.
Oh, so they wanted people who could.
So it's a similar way, it's like to slavery.
Yeah, slave trade.
So exactly. You find slaves from Africa were sent to certain parts of the Caribbean. So the myth is like Nigerians and Jamaicans get along because they're similar in temperament. They were the rebellious slaves, so they sent them to those particular islands.
But they're the bigger ones, or bigger, tougher, I suppose.
Yeah, so it depends where it goes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the more placid ones went to different parts of the Caribbean. So similar to the England, the people to Australia. If you're going to send them far.
Yeah.
But the thing when it comes back to the thieves, I think it also depends who's done it. Because when some people steal things, it's called discovered.
Yes.
I like that way. Some of you reading the books.
Exactly.
Why can't I walk into a crack and discover a sausage?
I discovered it.
That's brilliant.
And that was the chicken goujou was the most stolen
thing, yeah.
stolen,
Chicken goujou.
food.
Yeah, but you could walk in there now, couldn't you, and just go take all that chicken. They go, "What are you doing?" You go, "I've just discovered what chicken is."
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what I shout? If I see it now, I see like anyone's nicking all the sandwiches. I'm like, do you know what? You might enjoy it now, but in 2 years' time, the diabetes is going to kill you.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good
The
luck, yeah.
the amount of carbs you've stolen for that.
Yeah.
Then you walk into Boots and steal the medication.
Oh yeah, I might say that. Yeah. I think it's still the medication as much as still sandwich.
And on that note, we are going to leave it there. This show is brought to you by TNK Euro. Do check them out on tnkeuro.com. Michael Monkhouse did some extra stuff on this, and so did Peter St. James. We will see you at the next episode. Bye for now. Bye to camera.
Bye.